They also turned publishing back on after a year of being disabled. Yeah, like not just that. I think a more important thing is that under Microsoft, Blizzard, they renegotiated the deal with NetEase. If you remember, I want to say that deal broke down in 2022. Was it 2022 or 2023? For those who don't know, basically there are unconfirmed rumors as to the reasoning as to why it happened, but apparently there was some conflict when it comes to some higher up management at Activision Blizzard. But they kind of ruined their relationship with the with NetEase, which is the Chinese publisher and the Chinese kind of end of, or was the Chinese end of Blizzard, where they hosted servers for Overwatch, for Diablo, for World of Warcraft, for StarCraft as well. But that relationship was ruined. That agreement did end between the two of them. That was, again, like in 2023, I want to say, like a couple of years ago. And that was destroyed, but that was recently under Microsoft Blizzard was renegotiated, and they formed it once again, which allowed the Chinese servers to come back up. And fun fact, the Chinese side of things, NetEase, they actually do have developers actively working on StarCraft, and they actually bug fixed and patched the game on the Chinese side, like what, 5 months ago? like 5 or so months ago, and that's the version that went live in the global side recently, which is them like fixing and reactivating like the arcade and stuff. That was actually fixed a while ago by the Chinese development team over at NetEase like last year, and apparently like they're doing more with that as well. So there's like, again, there's like a lot of positive things that are occurring. It's just it's taken some time. It's Aye. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, so we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. That he was complaining, Imba. He was just mentioning during the casting. Like, they mentioned that EMP wasn't mentioned because MaxX was winning counters with Storm. It's possible. It's possible that that it was unrelated to balance winding. The way that it was phrased made it sound like the person maybe wanted a reason to bring up and counter like how well MaxX was performing, and try to like speak against that with some generalities about Storm and EMP. I would say there was no place for that in that cast, in that game, in that series. But you know, maybe it wasn't necessarily balance winding. It's possible. Also, he wasn't a clown. Maybe he was. Watch yourself. Oh. There we go. Here we go. As we are getting into our game, as we're getting into our fresh series here, best of three between Solar and Classic. Bearing in mind very quickly here, Max, he's in the grand finals. He's in the grand finals, able to win his series versus Cure, and now we're locking into our fresh best of three. Coming into this, Solar has been hyper aggressive. If you've been watching Solar and ZVP, he rarely plays macro. It happens, don't get me wrong, it happens like maybe once in a best of 5, but very often we've been seeing a lot of 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins. Solar, he's been taking a page out of Dark's book, and we've been waiting for it. After Dark's retirement, we've been waiting, like Shin, Rogue, Solar, who takes out that mantle as best Zerg player in Korea, and I want to say that Solar has taken that mantle quite nicely, and in doing so has actually been more aggressive than previously. Like, I would say if you compare Solar's play currently to say 2 years ago, even 2 years ago, like Solar has been much more aggressive in recent times, and has found a lot of success with it, to be honest. He's found a lot more success with it, and been able to take down some big Protoss players as a result, referring to Hero, Classic, even Max. But here we go. Solar does poke in. It is going to be a standard open out to Classic, going for his own Stargate into a third base, in towards a Twilight Council play. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the Twilight Council. Playing macro against Toss is bait. True. I mean, yeah, I think for the most part, like, we could say that there are some players that do embrace macro play against Protoss, but I think at this point we can say that they are few and far between. Like it's a little bit more rare to see willing like macro play against Protoss. Obviously we can bring up Serral, and Serral does often play standard and macro and does embrace longer and later games, but I would say at this point he's the exception, right? Like he's like, if we look at everyone else, if we look at Shin, Solar, Rogue, Raynor, like they all prefer more aggressive builds in the current meta. As the Oracles, they pop off. Oh my, 8 drones. 8 drones do go down. An F8 bust into the natural. No Spore here at the third. Oh no. Yeah, no Spores in position. That's going to be 11. And drones going down. Queens that were dragged out of position as well. And that is brutal damage early on. Both Oracles survive. Typically, if this much damage is dealt, you're able to at least catch an Oracle, but not here. And Solo's all in. Solo's all in. Do you see what I see? Pneumatized Carapace. So, if you're a little bit unfamiliar with ZVP, this upgrade is typically only researched for what? A German taxi. We're going for a German taxi. We're loading up some Dropper Lords, building up Queens, a 4th base just for Larva. There it is. Dropper Lords are on the way. Solar is all in, and it makes sense because he has taken game-ending damage. There's no way to macro. Not after losing how many drones? 12. 12 drone kills this early on. You can't macro out of that. No shot. Not even Serral will try to macro out of this kind of game state. So with that, Solar, there we go. Overlord speed does finish. Roaches are amassing. Queens are waddling out, and it's all or nothing for Solar. That's either he kills Classic or he dies trying. Behind this Classic, he is taking his gases. He does have 1 battery. He doesn't know. The reality is Classic, he does not know. Otherwise, would have at least 2, 3, 4 shield batteries in position. Classic, he's moving out. As he moves out, Solar, he's getting ready for his own all-in. Yeah, Classic even taking up. This can work. As Classic, he's out of position. Does catch some reinforcements. A couple of Lings do go down. At the same time, we're breaking into the natural. Going for that towards the Pylon. Oh no! Pylon does go down. Depowers the gateways, but the Storm is still being researched. Still working on Storm. Cybercore does fall. No more Stalkers. Vanilla Zealots. And Storm is not going to finish. Yeah, it's not going to finish. And again, there's just no batteries here. The army did race back home to defend. Yeah, late defense here by Classic. Oh no, even attacking his own gateway. Storm is denied. And Solar, he's doing it. Again, there's no batteries. There's no batteries, Pappy. Biles a zone away. Lings a bust into the mineral line. We bust in. Oh, as there is no creep, unfortunately, so no transfuse. 1, 2 high energy Queens go down. That was a lot of potential transfuse energy. Yeah, the creep was out of position. Stalkers are holding their own. At the same time, though, the mineral line is falling. And these Ravagers are being cleaned up. Yeah, Ravagers are being cleaned up one after the other. Oof. Now, with that Classic, he is going to clean this up. He's going to hold. But what is there left? As Classic, he lost 20 probes here at the third. Again, no mining here at the natural either. Only gas. Now transferring over. Classic kind of survive. Bearing in mind that Solar, he's still all in, by the way. Solar, he's not droning. He's not droning up. He's transferring workers. That is true as he runs out of patches in the main. So it does transfer. But Solar's getting ready for wave 2. It's going to be round 2 here with the all in. Meanwhile, Classic, he's rebuilding a Cybercore. Impressive that he defended without warping in any Stalkers, by the way. Like that's crazy. No additional Stalkers, no additional shield batteries. I'm still concerned that we still don't have additional shield batteries, by the way, but at least we're not probing. There it is. Second battery's on the way. Classic, he knows. This time it should be a stronger defense from Classic. Kiting well against the army. Again, this time Classic's in position. As Queens do drop in, spreading creep. Trying to spread creep at least. Yeah, the Oracles, they help out. Nice biles here on the battery. Second battery goes down. But Solar, he's just running out of steam here. There's no more Zerglings. The Queens, they're being focused down. And losing all the Queens. Biles, they do connect, catching out one of the Stalkers. And we're getting messy. Yeah, we're getting very messy here. Biles, they, oh my god. Catch out an Oracle, but we're just running out of army here. There's just not enough Lings, not enough Roaches. Again, this initial all-in went probably as best as it could have for Solar. Even busting into the main, or dropping in. But this is still not good enough. The economy is still strong for the Protoss, for Classic. This Classic is on 48 probes. And now we're getting ready for wave 3. Now it's third time's the charm, Papi. Let's go. Let's go. Going for another link drop. Another drop into the main. This time there's no backup battery being built. Just the one. Just the one battery here. There we go. Links to drop into the natural. Classic force to react. He does drag everything over, actually. Oh my god. Okay, he's completely out of position. Links, they bust into the mineral. Nice moves here by Solar. Nice move so far. Files on the shield battery. Battery is going to go down. Oh, the force field. Never mind. The battery lives. Lings is still in the natural. Solar still trying to end this game. He's trying. Oh. As he attempts to commit in. Does focus on one of the oracles. Gets one, gets two. Yeah, the oracle's out of NG. Solar, he might... nah, he does not have enough. Not enough Zerglings. Yeah, there's no Zerglings in position. Once again, the Ravagers are exposed. And once again, Classic, he does get the better concave. Nice spin control of the Classic. Avoids the piles. Takes down another Queen, another Ravager. And Solar, he's just out of steam. Out of army. Oof, does get one more Stalker. But he has to pull away. And we gotta get ready for wave 4. We gotta... Oh god. How long is this all in gonna last, Papi? Ay. Again, he has not made he has not made a drone in like what, 6-7 minutes? It's but he does have a Hydroden. Interesting. He got a Hydroden, he's getting range. Hydras will actually add a lot of DPS to this, unironically. We'll add some extra DPS. Classic, unfortunately, he has no forge. No, sorry, he does have a forge. He never started +2. So +2 won't kick in. Just now beginning here, now that there's a bit of a lull in the defense. He does start pro production, still a little bit concerned with the lack of batteries. But Classic is macroing. And so is Solar. He drones. Okay. we start. Do we end up in a macro game? Do we? Oh no. I mean, coming into this kind of game states, Solar does have some advantages, like the Hydrotech. The Hydrotech is a big advantage here for Solar, especially considering there's no splash damage, right? There's no Storm, there's no Colossus. It's purely a gateway composition here for Classic. So a Hydra-based setup can excel. At least like pre-Storm. Like pre-Storm, pre-Colossus, Hydras, they can do well for themselves. Hydras get spotted. See if I can sound 1, 2 Hydras go down. Nice Rassi with the Oracles, catching up 5 drones. At the same time, Solar does move in. Jeez, that's a lot of Blink Stalkers. And Lings get in. The wall's on the wall. Hero. The wall is wide open. So far, nice auto stepping there by Classic. Does pull away. Ooh, that's going to be 8 pro kills here in the natural. Some brutal damage. We can see Solar building up his Hydra count. So we have 6 more Hydras on the way. Classic a little bit cavalier with his blink control. Yeah, spending a lot of his blinks. Dancing with the main army, at least trying to. Hydras are exposed. Again, they need that buffer. Whether it's Roaches or Lings, they need something. Yeah, some rough trades. At the same time, though, 12 probes go down. Boys are being pulled. Classic getting desperate. He goes for the dive. He gets it. The Hydras all go down. It's an expensive trade here for Classic. He will lose all of his probes. The Classic will defend. It will cost him 25 workers, though. And I don't think that was worth it. Yes, Classic does survive, but now his economy is crippled. And now he has to counterattack, but he's pushing onto creep, and there are Ling Hydra reinforcements. Solar, he's doing it. Solar's doing it. Classic's all in. He didn't have to be. I'll be honest. He did not have to. He's getting a 4th base. He didn't have to force himself all in, but again, he lost everything. And Solar takes a lead. So he does take a lead here. At least, I mean, I'm enjoying Ling Hydra here a little bit more. There is a bit of a downside when it comes to the upgrades. These are 0-0 Ling Hydra. True. 0-0. So Classic does have that upgrade advantage. But Ling Hydra can be a very efficient army against Ling Stalkers. If we can build up that Hydra count. We're still going to build it up. Same time, Ling run back here and towards the third. Nice force fields. Bearing in mind there are no Ravagers, so force fields that much more deadly. Lings, they bust into the natural one. So again, shout out to the Dropper Lord. The MVP Dropper Lord. 7 more probe kills. Messy defense here from Classic. Losing 9 more probes. Again, this one Overlord has been popping off. He's been the unsung hero, Pat. How many times have we seen Lings in the natural? No. Overlord, get out of there. As speaking of, another drop. Another Ling drop. Solo distracting. Once again, there's just nothing here to defend. There's no battery, no cannon. No units. Sentries are exposed. Oh no! Yeah, brutal blink. Sentries are going down, losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentries. Yeah, brutal losses there for Classic and Solar. He has broken the expansion. Again, we saw the momentum shift in favor of Solar when he got 25 probe kills. Like 25 probe kills, that was game-winning damage. And Classic can no longer keep up. Not like this. It took a long time. It was like a 16-minute 3-base all-in. Like, it was crazy. Solo was hyper committed and hyper aggressive, and it wasn't looking good initially, but eventually he broke through. Eventually got enough damage. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. Solar does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense all-in, and honestly, Classic, he was holding. Like, Classic had a crazy initial defense. Remember, how did that all in start? It started with Classic. He failed to scout. He failed to realize what was going on. Classic was across the map. Remember, he was across the map and he only had 1 battery back at home. Classic was completely unprepared, but he still held. Like, I was shocked to see Classic defend against the initial wave, against wave 1. Like, wave 1 was the most impressive defense ever Classic, and things were looking dire for Solar, but he kept at it. He kept at it, and over time, he was able to get some more probe kills here and there, able to cripple Classic. Likewise, Classic, he didn't have the freedom to actually set up any further tech, partly because of the fact he was so unprepared, right? If he had extra shield batteries, he would have had a stronger initial defense and a stronger game in general, but it was very, very clutch. It was very, very close and barely was holding on, and I eventually made the decision to pull the boys to defend, to try to hold on against the initial wave, and did cost him that economic lead, or it did cost him his economy at least. GG. GG, well played. Very intense game, and with that, we're getting to game number 2, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Whew. The all-in finally worked. It did. Finally. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. Oh, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. Here we go. As you guys stream toxic people, they get frustrated once their race is mentioned in relation to any OP thing, which is why we prefer to just keep that away from our chats. Keep it away. I feel like especially that just doesn't have its place when it comes to competitive play, as it often does. It's often a way for people to like take away from the success or take away from the accomplishments of certain players, right? Like once a player like wins a game, wins a series, wins a match, once people start like balance whining about that, then it's just a way to like devalue like what they've just done and take away from that. So I'd rather get that clannery out of here, back. So it's more about respecting the players more than anything, really. And we also don't really want to like cultivate that kind of like mentality either, as it's usually like just very shallow thinking usually, and there's typically not a lot of like well thought out like arguments behind it either. So rather take that nonsense to Reddit. True. Otherwise, Hatchcat's Pool. Hatchcat's Pool, standard opening here from Solar, just going to be opening of standard. As a reminder, last game, Solar was hyper all-in, but a lot of that came down to the economic damage, which was crazy, by the way. The reality is, Classic was ahead. Remember, Classic healed 12 drones. Was it 11 to 12 workers when it came to his Oracle and Adept aggression? It was insane damage to Solar. He had to all-in. And now we're loading into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is another one of these smaller maps in the map pool. A smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. If Solar has to all in, this is another map that does favor that kind of play. Like when we think of maps that favor aggression, we think of 10,000 feet, we think of Tourmaline, and we think of Ruby Rock. As Solar does expand towards his opponents, claiming his third, and hopefully Solar can have a cleaner defense against the Oracles this time. Again, in the end, the all-in did work last game, but Solar, he had to work for it. Like, he had to work hard for it, papi. Yeah. So he was talking his in, but true. As we do have a varying build here. Okay, Classic going to be opening a Void Ray, not Oracle. With the initial Void Ray opener, Classic can hunt down the Overlord, he can deny vision, deny scouting, and we might be hiding some tech here. Bearing in mind, this doesn't have to be hidden tech. This could still lead into a standard build here for Classic, but Solar doesn't know. That's what's important here. Now, the Overlord did get eyes on the Oracle at least, so Solar, he's aware of the Oracle follow-up. But what's important is going to be that Twilight Council timing. As Classic is claiming his third. Este stick. Ay, papi. Calm down, papi. Calm down. You're an animal. As from here we do move out. Again, with the Queens in position, Solar, he should be able to minimize losses. Losing 1, losing 2 drones. 3 even. Oh. Yeah, 3 drones go down. As the Void Ray does overextend, and the Void Ray will barely get away. Whew. Against it with the Oracle, very low HP, and oh my god, geez, what I see Lair first. This was around a 420-ish, 425-ish Lair timing, so early Lair out of Solar, going for an early Roach Warren as well. This time, not going for any kind of Evo Chamber, not going to +1 melee, no Ling Hydra base setup, a very heavy Roach-based mid-game instead. Oh, did I say Roach-based mid-game? It's an all-in. Same build. I mean, I say same build. What's a little bit scary here is that this time we don't have heavy economic losses. Remember, Solar, he was forced into the all-in after losing, what, 11 to 12 drones last time. This time, Solar, he has lost 4 workers, now losing up to 5. As he do have Adept shading in towards the third. Getting another drone. I'm speaking a little bit too soon here, but that's going to be 7 drone kills. Despite that, still a stronger economy for Solar compared to last game. And Solar is going all in. As the Oracles, they pick forward, they do pick off 2 more drones. Oh, 1 Oracle does get sniped. Does snipe an Oracle. Drop Lords are getting ready. Lings, they poke in across the map, getting eyes on the defensive setup. And here come the Drop Lords, here comes the German taxi. The taxi, papi, let's go. So again, technically this is a stronger variation. On the flip side of things, the rush distance by ground is a little bit longer on this map. Not by that much, but it's by a couple of seconds. Like a couple of seconds longer. Meanwhile, Classic has still yet to confirm. No shield batteries back at home here. He has no idea. I'm here. And Classic, he has seen nothing until now. Now he knows. Yeah, now he sees. Now he does spot the Drop Lord. Temple Archives on the way. Earlier Storm as a reaction. So he's thinking ahead of time. Oh, we got the Drop Lord. Drop Lord does survive. There was an opportunity. There was an opportunity there. As Yolin has made it, spreading creep. Queens are a little bit far forward. Nah, he commits anyway. Yeah, he just goes for it. Now he can drop creep. Biles in the mineral line. Oh, catching a couple of robes. And they can transfuse. Yeah, the Queens, they can transfuse here. Stalker's being forced back again. There's just zero battery here. This time Classic woefully underprepared, thinking a little bit too far ahead, and Classic is being broken. Again, the third base has fallen. This time Classic didn't know what was going on. He had no defensive setup, no army. GG gets called, and Solar will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Solar, he will claim the series. Again, a much stronger version of this all-in because of the lack of economic damage. We spoke about that previously, but on top of that, Classic did not see the all-in coming until it was already in his face. He had some decent harass with the Oracles where he didn't quite check the lair timing. So winding it back, it was a fast lair. We saw the fast Roach one as well. The Oracle harass was fixated at the third base, did not go into the main. Didn't go into the main base, didn't check for the lair timing, didn't check for the roaches, and didn't see the main path either pushing out of the natural base. So Classic working with a lot of incomplete information there, and Goku with his pants down. Goku with his pants down. Likewise, he was also taking up, getting ready for a storm when he had no defensive setup at his third base. None whatsoever. GG. GG, well played. Classic, I'm sure he was thinking in his mind, he's like, yo, he went for an all-in in game one. He's not going to do it again, right? Like, I'm safe to probe. I'm safe to just macro, correct? Nah, baby, no. GG. GG, well played. With that, we do have our finals ready for us here. It's going to be a best of five grand finals between Solar and MaxPax. It's going to be another PvZ. It's going to be some Korean Zerg against European Protoss.